The main man from Rockdale Ilinden, a club that has been flying in the last couple of seasons, and like I said, the main man behind that, the heartbeat of the club. Paul, good evening.
Hello, lads. How are you? Hey, Paul.
Paul, firstly, again, it was only got onto you today, and you gave us your time, and you said yes straight away to come onto our show, Football Fever and Chubba TV, and we really appreciate that.
No problem at all.
Before we get into everything when it comes to yourself and Rockdale, we can't get you on without asking, how was the Survivor Series? We were all glued watching it. We were disappointed with that injury you copped. You're all fine, we can see now, but it must have been a great experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. I've loved that show forever, so to get a chance to go on was pretty good. So, yeah, the injury was pretty, that was unfortunate. It took ages to get right. That's, been about 10 months now, but I'm back to normal, so it's all good.
No, it was brilliant, and it was great to see. I mean, we were all glued watching you on there. Just a shame that you got injured. But
just wish I went better.
Yeah, moving right along. Let's look back a bit last year. You did win the premiers. You were minor premiers, which was the main thing. You won after 30 rounds. Unfortunately, couldn't do the double with the grand final. Is that something now this year that you're really looking at, is to try and win the grand final? Again, you're in a great spot, second spot again. Marconi, it's you and Marconi again looking as the top two teams again. I mean, there's many other teams that can cause a lot of problems, but you're up there again. And, what can be the difference to try and get over the line this season?
Well, the first question was yes, it's a goal. We want to win the minor premiership and improve from where we were last year. And if that means getting into a grand final, again, that's great. But you can learn from the experience. You always take away something, from matches where you don't win. And, we probably, didn't play our best style of football. And maybe the moment gets you, the pressure of a final or how your opponents let you play. But, it probably wasn't one of our better displays. But if we get a chance to do it again, I'm sure we'll learn from the experience.
You've probably got you have. There's no doubt about that. You've got the best player in the league. He's been the best player in the league for many seasons now. And I call him me and Adrian here, Liverpool supporters. Andy's a Newcastle supporter. For me, he's the Mohamed Salah of your club. He just will score you the 15, 20, 30 goals, set up goals. How is it coaching a player like Jurasevski, and how do you keep him going at that kind of rate?
Man, I'll give Euro all the credit that he deserves. He's motivated and he's got goals, that he sets for himself and targets that he wants to achieve, and he goes about doing it. So he's a real pleasure to coach. But he's probably the most lethal player that I've had any involvement with. He deserves all the credit that he gets. He is lethal in front of goal. He's an incredible athlete, but he's a real competitor and a winner, So when I see him get golden boots and player of the year, he deserves it. He works hard to achieve what he does, and he achieves a lot of really, really good things, things that, the standard player just can't do.
He had a great partnership with Bo Antonio, and we know Bo has now moved on to St. George, and maybe it affected a little bit. Maybe I could say it started a little bit slow. You might say a little bit different, but it looks like now the goals have started to come again for you guys. I mean, on the weekend, you scored more goals like Arsenal from two great set pieces. Looked like more Arsenal with Rashida, great goals, two headers. But I mean, his partnership now is starting to come along again.
No, it does. Look, we try and play in a particular way, and we attack certain areas in the front third, and we like delivery from areas to get Euro into the right position. So, sure, when you change combinations, you have to work on that and refine it and keep working at it to get it where it was and potentially beyond. But you mentioned Bay. Bay's got a lethal left foot from a wide area, and that can put, especially with an early delivery behind a defensive unit, it can put Euro into real strong goal scoring positions. So, he gets that from Brendan Chalakian in the 10, who slides him through. He's got that from, right or left players. So we like to attack, with width, but certainly, getting the ball into the right scoring zone for Euro is a real key to our success. So players that can do that and are happy to provide assists are quite beneficial for the team. And we've had that over the last couple of years for Euro.
I just got two quick questions before I pass you on to the boys. Firstly, let's that FFA Cup game during the week didn't go to plan. Lost out to penalties, but to SD Raiders, who are currently killing it in the NPL2 in the league that I coach as well, and for promotion as well. That was some dramatic scenes there, and a bit unlucky because I know you guys would have really liked to have a huge FFA Cup run as well.
Yeah, no, like we set goals to get to the round of 32, so we failed in that endeavour. But mate, they're a good side. That's a tough place to go to, and if you don't put a game away and you're allowed to go to penalties, then anything can happen, right? So we probably needed to do a better job of taking our chances during the game. But in saying that, that's part of what attracts people to cup football, right? So it's an NPL2 team that deserve to go through, and we wish them well at the end of the game, and hope to see them keep going well. But disappointment for us, but I guess it just adds to the story of cup football.
One thing I wanted to speak to you about, Rockdale as a club, for me, are one of the most successful clubs in the NPL, especially what they've been doing. They've got a lot of major sponsorship. They still bring in a lot of supporters. The community out there is excellent, still supporting them, get it behind them. The youth league the youth are going really well this season, which is one thing. They've had a little bit maybe issues over the past, but it's really coming good again. That must be great to see because, like I said, the work off the park with Rockdale and all their achievement, it's really incredible.
It's good. And that's a testament to Dennis Lothar, the president, Matt Riborowski, our head of football, Louis Bilewski, who's worked tirelessly at the committee level for years and years, even when I was a player. There's people behind the scenes at Rockdale that love the club, and they're really committed to, continuous improvement at the club. So they deserve all the success that they get. We work really hard as a coaching unit and the players to represent the club well on weekends. But there's a raft of really committed individuals that give their heart and soul to the club. The supporters reward them. We've got a really loyal supporter base that come down and cheer us on all the time, and we try to reward them with good performances. But as a club overall, and you mentioned the juniors, Paddy Nickus has taken the juniors now to a whole new level, and they're doing extremely well. So there's good people at the club at all levels, and they're all really passionate about the club itself. So that's normally a recipe for success.
Indeed.
Noah Bottic, as you know, at Western United, he's come from Rockdale. I mean, how important is the focus on youth? You just mentioned that sort of, I suppose, off-field stuff that goes on to ensure that you've got these crop of players coming through and for the success of the club as a whole, especially at your level.
It's actually a really important part. And I'll tell you, honestly, I've got three main goals in the season. So I want to do as well as what we can in the NPL1 for sure, right? That's a priority. But a second priority is really getting juniors to come through the club and see how many we can get representing us at NPL1. So junior development through the club. And then players that join us, we really want to see them progress to the next level. So if we can get boys promoted into the A-League or overseas, I actually hold those three objectives with equal weighting, So a lot of people focus on just success in the NPL1, and we are absolutely passionate about success at the highest level NPL1 for our club. But those other two priorities, in my mind, I never forget, and we want to see that happening at the club the whole time.
Hey, Paulie. Long time no speak. I hope you're well. I heard a lot about you. My old man's a big Survivor fan, so I kept hearing your name for a couple of weeks there.
Oh, good.
But I've got two questions for you. First one, from Manly to Rockdale, do you see a very big difference, or not so much difference as a whole, as a club? When you get to that level where you've got the higher people up on the board or whatever, interacting with players or whatnot, those little bits that, could assist the player. And the second question is, has your philosophy as a coach changed from those days to now?
It's a really good question. So the answer, there's a lot of similarities at the clubs that you mentioned, like my time at Manly and at Rockdale, in the sense that there's a big commitment on the juniors, and Manly juniors, really, they're second to none. That program that develops players, and there's a style all the way through, that really stands out as a hallmark of Manly as a club and the success that they generate through the youngsters. But in terms of commitment and community and what they stand for, there's some real commonality between both of those clubs. Different areas and cultural backgrounds and so on, but similar in how they approach the commitment at the club. And the second one about philosophy, look, my philosophy in football just keeps evolving because you want to improve yourself year on year on year and just get better at what you do. So, and you learn from some of the mistakes that you make. But my philosophy has always been, I've got a particular way that I want to play football, and it's a really aggressive and proactive style of football. So I haven't changed that. I'd concentrate on high intensity and attacking movements more than just shuffling compact defensive units and being hard to break down. Well, we want to defend really well, but my philosophy in football has been to try and play and coach an attacking brand and an enjoyable brand of football to play as a player. It's what I like to watch. So it's how I like to coach.
I think it's shown. I think you're averaging nearly 3 goals a game this season. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty, even at NPL level. I think that's quite extraordinary. You see teams like Marconi. I think they're only conceded 10 or 12 goals this season. You guys have scored, I think, upwards of 40, and it's difficult to get the players to do that. And if you get the best out of them, you can make a final. You can win the premiership. Like.
Yeah, but Marconi's still a good attacking team as well, right? They've just, like this year, they've got an incredible defence. So far, it's going well. But normally, if you look at competitions, the best defensive teams normally win competitions, right? So we still have a high priority on defence. It's just if teams can win 1-0 or 4-1, I want to be part of a 4-1 winning team, right? So, but I know everyone's going to say the 1-0 results, just as important. I get that, right? But there's a way that I like to play, and you should notice that it's quite a attacking sort of focused, if you like.
Just one more from me before we let you go. Looking at this year's competition, has there any team that's really taken you by surprise?
No, not by surprise, because the one thing you hear a lot, Chubbs, when you talk about NPL 1, there's a lot of really good teams, and if you don't show up on your day, results don't go your way, right? So no, the competition's as strong as what I thought it would be. Marconi's a standout at the moment. They're doing really well. They've recruited well, and they deserve to be at the top of the ladder where they are. Us, Blacktown, and Spirit are doing really well. Yeah. So I think if you look at Spirit's performance, it's no fluke. They're playing a really good brand of football. So there's some teams that are up at the top of the ladder, as well as Apia, who's a very strong squad. I think the top 5, from what I've seen for the first round of football, they deserve to be where they are. And it's a matter now of trying to improve, on what you've done for the first 15 rounds. And that's going to be up to the players and the coaches of their respective teams.
I think the NPL has come in the last few seasons with everything now that's available to you coaches and information and so on. The NPL has come leaps and bounds, and I think it's terrific to watch.
Look, I agree with you. It's a great spectacle. I watch football all weekend, right? So I watch the A-League on Paramount, and I watch it, on YouTube for our own league. But I've got no doubt there's a number of players in the NPL 1 that would be able to thrive in the A-League environment. So I'm hoping, again, that this next A-League season, there's more players that are taken from the NPL into the A-League because I know they've got what it takes. And even if this second division at the end of the year gives another showcase for A-League coaches to look at the state league talent, there's a lot sitting there, right? And I have no doubt, like I said, that you give them full-time environment and, facilities and coaches and players at a high level, they can rise to that new level. I've got no doubt.
Is that something Rockdale could still be? I know you're not in it yet, but I believe the highest ranked team could still be there, and it could be yourselves.
Well, that's the goal. Don't you worry about that. So, yeah.
At the moment, you would be the team that would take that spot, the final spot.
Yeah. So the foundation members of each of the federation, the foundation members are in the team's group of 16. So then it's the highest qualifiers of the 8 other federations that will go in. So as it stands at the moment, Marconi's a foundation club. So if we were second, well, it's actually between us, Blacktown, and Spirit about who'd be going through. But it's I'm sure that's on every coach's mind. If you're a foundation member, you're there, but the rest will be fighting for that position because that'll be a great competition to be part of, especially for the first one as well. There'll be a lot of eyes on those games, 100%. Which can only be good for the players.
Well, just quickly before we let you go, sorry, Chubbs, I just want to ask, just with Aspirations, you just mentioned the professional setup at the A-League level, but is it something that you aspire to maybe coach at that level? Or we actually spoke about on the show that there's a lot of coaches also running around at the NPL level that we feel don't really get a look in, and you can see some of the some of the announcement of coaches that are made are, either ex-players that have played at a higher level, but they sort of just...
Well, his assistant's done well. Nick Stavroulakis last year. He's now with Melbourne Victory and moved now with Milligan.
And I hope the Victory go all the way. I'd love if he was successful all the way. He's got a tough job away at Auckland, but geez, I'm cheering for him.
But is it something you aspire to, mate, to get an opportunity maybe?
I'd love to, right? Because I'm passionate about football and I'd love to do it. The unfortunate circumstance for me is I've got a lifestyle that's built around, my primary source of income, which is in my corporate life. So, if the gods shine on me and financial overheads go away, I'd love to invest time in full-time football. But I think my path down that road is a little limited, just due to commitments at home. So love to, but we'll have to wait and see.
Paul, congratulations. You've done a wonderful job at Rockdale. We really love watching what you do down there and the football that Rockdale play. They're an exciting team in the competition, and it's shaping up again an exciting season and maybe another ding-dong battle with Peter Tsakenaser and Flea and everyone at Marconi, because you two are shaping again to be the best two teams in the league. But there's still a long way to go. We're only halfway there, and we know injuries, suspensions, many things can happen in football. But you're doing well so far, and congratulations, and thank you once again for helping us out here in Chubba TV and Football Fever.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys. Thanks, Chubba.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
See you, guys.
Paul.
Sandy.
Adrian, you've worked with Paul yourself as well, and he's done a terrific job, like you said, from his time at Manly, now moving to Rockdale, getting them ticking over as they haven't been so competitive. I mean, he does get a lot of backing from the community and the club there, but he's been doing the job on the ground as well.
I think Paul's a very respected man in the NPL. He was always a very lovely man to me. We always used to have a chats before or after the game. He always gave me the time. But I think wherever he's gone, Manly, now Rockdale, his results have backed up his knowledge of football essentially, and I think he's going to do well wherever he goes. I know this year, like you said, we're only halfway through, but they're showing signs. They can score goals and they can defend, and that's, at the end of the day, that's football, and he's getting it and he's nailing it with the players that he's got, and we'll see how he goes.